Let's talk about AI yet again, by the way. The conversation that keeps on giving. There is an onslaught of AI everywhere. And as an IT professional, um, as a tech enthusiast, as a gamer, as a parent, as a photographer, as a business owner, whatever corner of my life I occupy, AI is there. And I find keeping an ear to the streets, talking to regular people, I find the consensus is, this thing's going to put us out of a job, whatever that may be. And this thing is ruining our ability to think. This thing is ruining our sacred creative outlets, music, cinema, film, photography, whatever, writing. I think I think everyone in this conversation has a valid point, and mainly I remain in the middle. And I remember watching a video, a Neil deGrasse Tyson video, where he made a very interesting parallel about the car industry. And when cars started to pick up, there were hundreds of people in the Central Park area in New York that were in the business of taking care of horse and buggies, be it the horse, be it the buggy, be it the clothes that the person who wore, be it the people cleaning up after them, whatever it was. There were more like thousands of people that were employed, and their families. And then when the cars came, it kind of like disappeared overnight. What I think is so special about AI, much like the internet before it, but I think AI feels much more intense. We get to see we get to see it. We don't get to read about it. We don't get to watch a documentary about it. We get to experience what it's like when a revolution's happening, when something you know to be is just being superseded in a very fast way. It's exciting. It's nerve-wracking. It's scary. It's all of the above. It's unknown. And I get it. And I'm squarely in the middle. And I like to keep myself grounded by respecting all aspects of the conversation. And so I can really only speak to the ways I use AI and the benefits that it brings me, in hopes that other people will internalize that and not be so afraid of it. And also, it's a declaration that we need to become more comfortable being uncomfortable. And not everything is adversity, right? Things can be difficult, but we can adjust. A very real example of me trying to adjust is I use AI in my professional photography business quite often. And as I become more acclimated as a professional portrait photographer, I'd say it's under a year I've been here. And the way and the ways that I'm able to execute in this arena in such a short period of time is largely fueled by AI. So if you take, let's talk about editorial portrait photography. Editorial is all about, it's a team sport. And I've spoke about this at length before. So your key players maybe obvious to some, maybe not to others. It's the photographer and the model, right? But what truly makes the vision come alive, what makes an editorial session special is wardrobe, hair, makeup. That means there's a stylist involved. That means there's a hair stylist involved. That means there's a makeup artist involved. And then there's a creative director. And that creative director is the visionary, the brain power to sort of get the entire team moving on common ground and executing this thing to be as special as it can be. I do not have a creative director. I am not trained in that art because creative directors are very good at what they do. It's quite a phenomenal skill to have. And really it's to be able to have a vision, to see a vision, to culminate a vision, and then to explain it to someone else, to carry it out. I think it's magic. I don't have that. And so I lean on AI in that way. And you'll find that when I reach out to a model, I may like the model's look, but the model's look is heavily influenced by other creative ventures that they've had. So I have to sort of take this person and visualize them with my style in my studio. It can be quite difficult. I'm sorry. It is quite difficult. And so what I'll usually do is take a screenshot of that model's body of work, and I'll go into AI that I've trained and say, give me some examples of photo sessions that I can do with this model. And it comes back with shot lists. You could do this, you could do that. Here's the lighting. And it knows the different type of lighting I can use and I'm capable of. It knows the focal lengths that I operate at because I told it. And I've also fed it my work, right? And that gets me ahead. That means I don't have to rely on a creative director because I'm not quite there yet. And very soon I will be looking to form relationships with creative directors. And then if I'm taking on client work, I have to find creative directors, right? But you get the idea. And I can then take that shot list that's very detailed for me, and I can have AI spit out a version of it that I give to the model. So now the model is prepared. The model understands the vision. And we can go back and forth. Oftentimes we do. The model can throw some ideas out. It's all good. So I have my direction. The model has their direction, so that when we come here, we are on the same page to create. In the editing process, I use AI quite often in my tools. We know Photoshop and Lightroom's been ramping up the AI, and it's quite good. I use Retouch For Me to do a lot of my retouching. The tool's quite good. That's all AI. I've been using Evato. And what's special about Evato, I love the way their tool operates. Evato is such an amazing tool for portraiture. So as you can tell, I have a small but mighty studio. And it's quite challenging to get full body portraiture down here because of the ceiling. And also because this is my office. This is my play area, right? So like this space means a lot. This space does a lot of different things, a lot of many things for me. So it has to be robust. So usually when I'm taking my photos, there's a lot of distractions behind. You may or may not see it depending on how I crop the composition for this video. But there's wires hanging out down here. There's wires off to the side. You see my server to the side. Over there, I've got a plant. I've got to get rid of all of that stuff in post. And Evato does it for me in a real way where there's a distraction button. AI says, oh, I got you. Boom, makes everything white. And it makes it feel immediately like I'm in a bigger space. And by the way, this problem is not exclusive to me or my space. I've seen photographers, because your backdrop can only be but so big usually, right? So if you're shooting 4 or 5 people on one backdrop, you've got to run that concept no matter what. Evato helps that. So that's AI, right? So let's be very thankful for that, or I would have had to become a Photoshop ninja. I'm not excited about that. And then recently, Google's Nano Banana. This is a they call it, we're moving away from, I like the nuances of where we're going now. We're moving away from, here's a generative AI tool versus Google's branding this as a AI editor. My God. And to test this out, the same scenario I just explained, right? I'm here in the studio. I shot a full length editorial shoot, but I've got a ton of distractions around. It took all of 5 seconds for me to put that photo of my model into Nano Banana and tell it, clean it up, done. And what's special about Google's Nano Banana is usually these generative models, they do just that. They want to generate. So it'll clean up the background, but then it'll put like a elephant or something crazy in the photo. Like, what? I didn't ask for that. Or the photo would not look like the person. But Nano Banana maintains the image. It only changes what you ask it to change. Insane. So then I took that image and I said, you know what? Put this model in a high-end museum. And it did it. Now there's this world of possibilities that I'm having where I don't need to be a Photoshop ninja anymore, right? Like, I can take the work I shoot in studio and transform it into something truly special. That's cool. But again, keeping my ear to the street means I still need to feel what everyone else is feeling. And I need to acknowledge to myself that I'm also feeling it and I'm also scared. Because why then go through all this planning? Why reach out to the model and form this relationship? And then when she comes down here, ask her how her day was. What is she up to? And like, work on our connection as human beings so that she trusts me, so that when I'm behind the camera and she's in front of it, we're aligned. Our energy together is creating something special. Why go through all of that if AI is just going to make something dope anyway? Oh, scary. It's scary. I get it. But I think we must challenge ourselves to find the middle ground. Not all things are bad and not all things are good. And not everything is absolutely bad and not everything is absolutely good. And because you're working to find the middle ground doesn't mean that it won't end up bad or that it won't end up good. There's that balance, right? Like, this one stings. Looking at the way it takes the image, it takes the model and perfectly places her in a totally different environment. And it looks like I shot it. Because the look that the model gave me is my hard work. That's my connection. That's the vibe that she gave to me. Still my work. Maybe in the future, I'll get to a place where I get the opportunity to actually be in a museum and do a portrait session. Ooh, that'll be nice. Just like it'll be nice someday when I get to, hopefully someday soon, I get to have creative directors on speed dial. Yo, I got this project. We got this client. I got this model. Where you at? I need you. I need your brain. I need your vision. That's dope too. AI is going to become such where we are going to have to identify in varying degrees something or AI touched something. And we see this on Instagram, right? Like, The AI label. What does that mean? Was it edited with a piece of software like Evato, like Retouch for Me, or was it edited with Photoshop, Lightroom using their AI tools? I'm not against identifying these things, but I think it's going to become more and more valuable as these AI editing models come into play and the generative AI models get even more so and produce even more results. Um, and as businesses, as capitalism does, finds a way to get rid of so many real people doing this work and just get it done with AI to where the regular person don't even know it. I can see that happening, and I can see there being an uprising of people, you and me, when we're watching a video, when we're consuming a piece of content, when we're consuming an ad, we may find value in knowing, nah, fam, this wasn't AI. This was done by a real person. And that got me like, ooh, is it gonna kind of be like the whole today there's this resurgence of people looking for vinyls. Everyone wants a record player now. We don't, even though you can have millions of songs in your pocket on Spotify, nah, I want this tangible thing. Can it be that without having to go that far to the brink of extinction? Can we have a label where cameras present their own, this is from a real camera, not AI? What does that even look like? Like, I'm kind of excited for that because it gives us as photographers more distinction. Like, we're committed to this. And if you look at something like Google, what Google's doing with their new Pixel phones, the things that those phones are doing when they take a photo is insane. It's to the point where, yeah, you took a photo, but you took a photo to run through AI to then present an image to the person. So I would argue Google's the new Google Pixel's camera is like 50% AI. That's enough to be labeled as AI. But what if photos I take with one of my physical cameras is 100% not AI? I'm excited to see how we as a humanity solve this problem, because I think it is solvable. I'm also afraid of where AI is going to take us in general, but I'm not super afraid of where it's going to take us in the creative world, because a lot of the ground that I've been able to cover in my professional business has been catapulted by AI. The questions I ask it, the things I need to know as not a photographer, but as a business owner, the way I think, and the way AI empowers me to continue to evolve the way I think about my business, niching down on who my work is for, niching down on how to define my work, niching down on the communication that I use, my brand voice, understanding that these things even exist. This is all marketing stuff. I didn't go to school for marketing. I can't afford to hire a company to tell me these things. I have to appreciate it. I have to be thankful for it. But I understand that this can get dicey for a lot of people very quickly, including myself. I'm curious where you guys stand on AI and the various aspects of it I spoke about here today. Hit the comment section down below. Let me know where you're at. Always love to hear from you guys. My name is Ramon. Thank you so much for sharing your time here today. The most valuable resource we have in life is time, and I do not take it lightly that you've shared yours with me here today. I'm out of here. Peace.